What's up, true believers? Once again, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming with another video review. And if you watched my last video review, I lied to you, or I am currently lying to you. I said that it was going to be 3 episodes in a row of female characters, and that is a lie, because I decided to do this one first. The next female one will be coming up in a couple days, but this I had to do this. Thanks to the folks over at Big Bad Toy Store. Link down in the video description if you want to add this to your collection. But we're going to be taking a look at the newish. This is Wave 2 of the Super7 Simpsons Ultimates of none other than Bartman. And the reason I decided to interject and do this video next is because some of you might know that I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like ADHD or what. I have no idea. But every single night, every night, I go to bed watching The Simpsons. I kind of need to have like background noise for the most part, and I like having The Simpsons on in the background. I have a TV obviously in my living or in my bedroom, and literally it's just something that I can put on where I've seen it countless times. Typically it's like seasons 1 through about 13 or 14, because after that it kind of went downhill. But as I was sitting there last night getting ready for bed, I turned it on, got it ready, started getting my bed all done up and everything. And what episode should appear but the very first episode featuring Bartman. And I'm like, son of a biscuit and gravy, I just got the second wave of these from Big Bad Toy Store. So I needed to do the review for this, because the episode where Bartman is like first introduced to us is probably up there. And like I said, I mean, I've watched The Simpsons since it came out. I remember watching it as a kid. I remember going to a store back in Michigan called Myers. Well, Meyer, but we from Michigan put an S at the end of it. If you're from Michigan and you're watching this, don't forget, as with everybody else, hit that thumbs up button. Show me a like. Let me know, where are you guys from? Are you familiar with Meyer? But I remember, and I got to go back and look through some of my old photo albums. There's got to be a picture of me where I met these characters. They were in costume in the store, and you could go up and meet them. And I remember it vividly. It's so incredibly fun to be able to kind of come here and revisit some of these. But for the box, now one thing that I want to tell you is that already we know it's been talked about, it's been documented, I've mentioned a few times. Unfortunately, Super7 no longer has the license for The Simpsons, so they got to about 4 waves, I want to say, of it, this being the second one. I'm hopefully going to take a look at all of them for you guys. But already, I'm starting to see kind of a regression of sorts. This does not come with a mailer box. Like all of the first wave figures that had brown mailer boxes with this inside of it, these do not, which is really unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't keep them anyhow, but you're already starting to see, with the release of the second wave, the cutting back of sorts. But gorgeous Simpson logo right there with the clouds, very reminiscent of the opening scene. You got Bartman down here, coming on the back. Got a gorgeous image of him with Matt Groening. The man is a genius. Super happy with it. So getting this lifted up, and suction cups, and then we're gonna throw that over there. This is what I was talking about, Bartman. And you can see the episode came to us 3 Men and a Comic Book all the way back in 1991. absolutely incredible. But it was the second season, the 21st episode. It kind of was like the season finale for that. But episode one, or I'm sorry, episode or season 2 right there, first appearance of them. You got the front section. Nobody cares about that. Now, figure wise, this guy has a lot of real cool stuff. A lot of it is very specific to the episode, which I think is fantastic, and I love every bit of it. One thing that I do want to talk about is he does come with a skateboard, and I'm trying to remember, while he was dressed like this, I don't remember him using the skateboard. I could be mistaken, but I don't think so. But one thing that I wanted to talk about, where did it go? It's here somewhere. Here it is. So we got Poochie, and I thought that this would just be a nice way. This is Poochie's skateboard. You could just repaint this. It's actually molded differently. You can see it's smaller of a skateboard, which is quite impressive to me that they didn't just reuse this. But very classic colors with the green, the orange, the underside here. It's got the wood with the purple tires or wheels, whatever you want to call them. But I was very, very surprised that they actually didn't just redo this. And you can see that the peg hole is more off on the side. So again, completely new sculpt with that, which really does surprise me. And I think that that's fantastic. But you got the little hole right there. And then you got the little, they're on the front of his foot, which it's weird. But it's like, why wouldn't you just like put that there to put the hole there? I don't know. But you can peg that in there. And now Bart is able to skate around. Amazing. Absolutely love it. He does got several hands. You can see you got just some kind of like gesturing hands right there. You have a pair of more relaxed hands. They're a little bit more tiny, obviously, because Bart is a smaller character. You got a pair of fisted hands, which come in handy because you can have them fighting Milhouse or Martin, which you actually can't do that because those figures are never going to be created. You also have a pair of holding hands, which right and left, which work perfect for the comic book that he's going to come with, and then a pair, or just a hand here with him holding money. Now, you could kind of use this in a couple different ways. In order for, the whole premise of this episode was that Bart and Lisa were going to the Springfield Comic Convention. When they got in there, they realized that they got a discount if they came dressed up as a superhero. So Bart, hilarious, this sounds like a job for, and then runs into a, most of you probably don't even know what it is, but a phone booth. It's a big long box, okay, and there's a phone inside of it. And before cell phones, you would go in there to a payphone, and you put money in, you would pay, and then you could call somebody. Yeah, it was really a thing. Or Superman changed inside that. But he changed into this. He came out with a mask and a cape, came back out, and the guy is like, who are you? He's like, I'm Bartman. Kind of like Batman was like, I'm Batman. And, but he's like, you never heard of him, full price. So he pulls out his money and he hands him. So you can use this. Or you can also use this as when he's trying to buy the comic later on in the episode with him holding money. So I kind of like using it more in line with the actual convention of sorts, but that's really cool. I love it. Now, later on, as they're getting ready to leave the convention, both him and who else was there? Martin wasn't there. Nelson was there. Okay, so they go by and they see Comic Book Guy. And they see his booth area, and they're saying, "Oh wow, that's the comic where he's introduced to Larva Girl, and the other this is the one before oh god, and I'm going by my memory here. Fallout Boy was his ward, and then he's like, would you like to see one? I'll show you something that's really cool. That's my really bad impression. And then he pulls out, and he's like, I like you, and he shows him a copy of Radioactive Man #1, and the guys get super excited, and Bart's like, that must be worth $1 million. This is like, maybe yes, but I will only charge you $100 because you remind me of me. But Bart doesn't have that much money, so he ends up slamming the case on it, and sadly, Bart's not able to get it. But then on the way home, he tries to convince Homer to give him money, and he's like, I need $100. And he's like, for what? He's like, to buy a comic book. And Homer decides to say that this was drawn by Michelangelo. So there you go. Later on in the episode, Bart goes in and he sees not Nelson, but Martin trying to buy something, and then Milhouse tries to come in and buy something. Bart has the wonderful idea that if they pool all their money together, they can buy a copy of Radioactive Man #1. And I'll be totally honest, this is a comic book that I wanted my entire life. I would buy it to this day. The problem is they never actually made one that looks like this. There is a Radioactive Man #1 that's out there, but doesn't look like this. I want one that looks like this. But they end up buying it. And the problem is, the guys are not able to share. So, they devise this whole thing where, like, Monday and Wednesdays, Bart gets it. Tuesday and Thursday, Martin gets it. And, so they divide it all up. Well, what happens about on Sunday? Well, Sunday, it'll be a random number generator. 1 through 3 will be this one, 4 through 6, 7 through 9, blah, blah, blah. Well, what happens when it's 0? Well, in the unlikely event when there's 0, it was going to be determined by rock, paper, scissors. But because it was that particular day, it was going to be Martin's day. So they decide to take it. Or he decides, I'll take my comic book and go home. And they're like, no, not today. We're going to wait to do it. So they end up staying in Bart's treehouse. A storm comes in. I'm just basically giving you the whole story, not even reviewing the toy. But a storm comes in, and they end up fighting over this. And while Martin is actually tied up, because he had to go to the bathroom, and they thought that he would try to sneak out with it. But the whole situation works out where Milhouse is hanging from the door of the treehouse, and Bart's trying to save his life. Well, the wind kicks up, the comic book goes flying, and is stuck on the corner of the door. Bart can't save both, but he decides, as a superhero does, he decides to save his friend. And then when he goes to try to grab the comic, it flows away. Gone. And now it goes outside, lands in the mud. And that is where this comes into play. And I absolutely love this. This is Santa's little helper. Santos, if you know Santos, if you get that reference, then I'm very impressed. But this is Santa's little helper. And he grabs the comic book, shakes it, and then tears it up, lands on the ground, and then it gets blasted by a bolt of lightning. But what I love is all the detail is there. You got the comic book cover, you got the inside here with different panels and stuff. You got this really cool side-eye, angry kind of look for Santa's little helper right there. Absolutely gorgeous. He's got his tail. The legs, these back legs are not articulated, but these front legs are, so he can come out and he can and he can grab it. And then the head is articulated, so of course you can go. He's destroying it. And then, like I said, runs away, leaves it on the ground, gets struck by lightning, gets destroyed. Now, you also do get a slingshot, which is iconic for Bart, but also he did use this in the episode as Milhouse was trying to leave. Bart threatened him that he would shoot him with it, but again, great detail on there. This section here, it is it's slightly not attached to it, so you can move that around. Very, very cool with that. But you could also probably use this with his one of his gripping hands, maybe. Come on, get in there. Well, you probably, yeah, there we go. So you could do that if you want to. Now, the final little bit is this, which this is really very impressive. So after the night ends, the comic's been destroyed by both Santos little what I'm trying to remember the name. Santos Lil Helpar or something like that. El Helpar. The birds have decided to make a nest out of this. All the pieces are laying on the ground. The boys are trying to all this happened because we couldn't share. And, then it pans away to see the birds actually using this. But what's really cool is while there's no words that are on it, they actually recreated the panel pretty decently. There are no words, like I said, but that image on there is very much what the image was. And you can see you got the bird there, you got the little yellow beak. Absolutely love this. Kind of wish that maybe there was like a tree branch that you can set that in, but you know, it is what it is. Absolutely fantastic. Now, coming on over to Bartman. Not Bart Simpson, unfortunately, but we do have a variant of him, and this is actually really quite impressive. I'm really very happy with it. Now, one thing that I will talk about is this belt. In that episode, he was never wearing this belt, so I have no idea where this came from, but you can just remove it if you want to, and I'm going to, because he never wore it in that episode, but you can see it's got like a little controller thing there, some little bits right there. I don't actually know where this is from. Maybe it came from the video game, because I've been trying to think since last night how many episodes Bartman actually appeared in, and I can't think of any other ones. He became very popular. He was in video games. He was in comic books. But I can't think of another episode where he appeared in. Now, one thing that I will say that I'm a little bit disappointed in, the coloring here. This is obviously very purple. This is blue, though. I don't know that's coming across. It really should be the same color, and I'm kind of disappointed in that. Does it bother me all that much? No, but it really should be the same color as that. But all the way around, this is a great looking figure. And for the most part, from the neck up, you have Bart Simpson. But all these other heads that he comes with, literally you can't do anything other than recreate Bartman. So you got like this one where he's like, eek! Again, the expressions that are on his face, in terms of, like, for example, you know, maybe Santa's little helper destroying, you would have that kind of eek, kind of like freaking out kind of look, and then after it's destroyed, very sad look, because that kind of looks like he's sad, although he's kind of smiling a little bit here, but the way that his eyes are done, it looks very sad. This looks very concerned. This looks very sad. So it's weird. And then you have a very happy look for him. So happy that he got it. Terrified that it was being destroyed. Sad that it was destroyed. And then if you wanted to, you can pop that off. This can remove. So again, you could have this section for Bart Simpson if you wanted to. And then you can, you know, that's a ball joint. So you can swap that out if you really wanted to do that. But putting that back on there, there we go. Gorgeous looking figure, though. The things do tend to always get a little bit loose and wobbly on a lot of these figures over time. So that's always a thing. For comparison, let me say, I mean, obviously there is Santa's little helper. Where is Homer? I'm knocking stuff over. Let's grab Homer. Just because I always drop those. So here is Homer J. So you can kind of get an idea of the size of Bart. Smaller, which makes sense why they included something like Santa's Little Helper. I totally get that. That makes a whole lot of sense. So all that's going on there. Articulation-wise, the head is on a ball joint, but you can see that it's definitely a little bit bobble-ish-y now. So I don't know. Yeah, and you know, left, right, all that stuff. The shoulders here do move in and out, forward and back. They rotate at the elbow and they bend at the elbow. The wrists also do rotate and then hinge. You also have this little ball joint section down here at the waist. As I said, I'm not going to put this back on there because this is how he really should look from that episode. The hips do move forward and back. They move in and out. There's no rotation anywhere else except for the knee. You do have the bend and then the rotation there. and then the ankles do tilt. So all the articulation you would expect is there, but I really do like this guy. I really do. It is from, as I said, one of my top Simpson episodes of all time. So I'm thrilled that they actually did him and were able to get him. And at least we got some version of Bart. You know, in terms of looking at the different waves that they've done, we got some version of Homer, we got some version of Bart. We also have a version of Maggie that comes with Kodos or King. I don't remember which one. So the only other ones of the family that we don't really, that we'll never get from Super 7 is going to be Lisa and Marge, which is definitely unfortunate. But I really do like what they did here. You get the family dog, all that stuff. It would have been cool if we would have gotten Snowball. Snowball 2, I should say. But really very happy with this. I think that it's very fun, very cool. Absolutely adore this whole set. So if you would like to pick this one up, as I mentioned, it is available over at Big Bad Toy Store. So for that, I will put a link right down there in the video description where you can add this to your collection and get it displayed before they're sold out and sold out for good, which honestly, in my opinion, will make these figures go up in value just because they're not being produced anymore. So I would get in on them while you can. While the first wave is discounted, the second wave has not gotten a discount yet. But I would say be a little bit patient. They probably will go on discount at some point in time. If you don't want to wait for that, definitely pick them up because, like I said, you never know. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. If you did enjoy the video, as always, show me that love by hitting that thumbs up button and giving me a like. And also, if you are new here, if you've come across my videos for the first time, you enjoyed what you have, what you've been watching, hit that subscribe button as well. Come back and watch some more videos. But beyond that, that's about it, guys. As always, I want to thank you for tuning in. Until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen.